Welcome back to another episode of Arnold Teaches You How to Use Your Camera. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about your new camera. So maybe you got this A7R from a friend perhaps, and you just don't know how to use it, but you do want to use the manual functions and be a bit more in control of your photos. So I'm gonna let you know what features you should have on automatic and what features you can have manual so that you can know how to control your camera and get what you need to get. So basically when I shoot my photos, I like to have this blurry background in the back, and it just makes things look a lot more professional, you know, like when you see a professional portrait, you see that person in view, and behind it, it's like all blurred out. Basically, what that comes down to is aperture. And aperture is how wide that your lens opens up. So the way that your lens works is inside there's this ring. There's like a bunch of rings, and it opens up really wide and it goes really small. And anyways, basically the two things you need to know about aperture is that the lower the f-stop number, the blurrier the background, and that it's good for low light situations. Next we have ISO, and luckily on these new cameras, basically okay to be set to automatic. But ISO is how sensitive your camera is to light. But there's a trade-off to that, because when you shoot at a high ISO, there's a bit of grain, and what they call it is noise. And what that is like a bit blurriness to the quality of your photo. So if you shoot at a really high ISO, it's gonna make your photo blurry. So a situation where you may have to change your ISO is when you're shooting a photo, for example, and you're like, hey, it's kind of dark, and you're already at the lowest f-stop number that you can have, and you're like, okay, what can I do? So what you want to do is to make your camera a bit more sensitive to light. So as you increase that ISO number, your camera is going to get a little more and more sensitive to light. And when you shoot that photo, now with the same shutter speed, the light is going to be a lot more sensitive and your photo is going to turn out a lot brighter. But like I said, the trade-off is that you're going to have a bit more grain in your photos. And the next important thing to know about is shutter speed. Luckily now, I usually put my photo camera shutter speed on automatic, because that way I don't have to worry about it and it's usually properly exposed. But basically what you have to know for shutter speed is that the faster your shutter speed, the less light that goes in your camera. And the longer the shutter speed, the more light that goes in your camera. And bright days, for example, are great days to use fast shutter speeds, because when you're out there, you can just shoot real quick and you won't have photos be underexposed.